Happy Sunday, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Tennessee finishes off the weekend sweep with the 12-0 victory over Albany today. Good weekend overall for the Vols as they move into Tuesday action against High Point, and then they play Bowling Green at home next weekend. Let's jump right into this. Let's don't even waste time and mess around with it. Tennessee's lineup today, I've been pretty kind of fascinated with that, with what they do going back and forth as they started to line up last weekend, as you consistently had Inslee leading off. You had Burke second for a couple games, then they moved Dryling up. And then Tuesday, they kind of went with the same lineup against Asheville, but then they changed it up against ETSU and just, they started off slow, then they went on an onslaught with Christian Moore leading off. I think you had Burke second against ETSU, then Amick. They switched it back up again Friday with mixed results. Still got the win, but not all the runs were earned. Went back to Christian Moore at the leadoff again yesterday, did it again today, and they've rolled all three games that they've went with Christian Moore leading off. They have scored in double digits. I don't think it's by coincidence either. And that's going to be one of my bullet points. That was one of them I get to in it. It's just Christian Moore and, how good this guy is and how good he's been. But the lineup today, let's get right into the stats. So Tennessee batting: Moore 1 for 2, 2 runs, 1 RBI, 2 walks today. Kobe Backus later on hit in his place, went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Blake Burke 1 for 1, 1 RBI. He scored 2 runs. He had 3 walks today and 1 stolen base. Once again, what encourages me, no strikeouts again for him. That's very encouraging. Billy Amick 0 for 4, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. He had some tough luck again today, man. This dude has hit some just shots this year. And he just doesn't – he's not getting a lot of luck. And, the thing with him for the year, he's hitting 281. It feels a whole lot better than that because he has really hit the ball well and just not getting a lot of luck on that. But he was lifted later on. Camden Bates come in at shortstop. Kavaris Tears started in center once again. Today he went 1 for 2, 1 RBI, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 1 hit by pitch for him. So on the season with him as well, Tears is up to 391 average, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, having a really good start to the season right now. Amick, 281 for the year, 12 RBIs, which leads the team. So he's doing his job. 3 home runs, which is tied for the team lead as well. 9 hits, which is tied with Burke and Tears, but those are second behind Christian Moore. Charlie Taylor later come on to catch. Peebles again today went 0 for 3. He had a walk. He had 2 runs. No strikeouts, so he's putting the ball in play. And on the year for him, he's hitting 167. So I'm curious to see. I really think this dude will bust out at some point, but it's not been a great start to the year for him, but he is getting on base. His OBP for the year right now is, it's 300. So I don't know. He's got 5 walks on the year, so he's doing some things. He has scored 6 runs on the year, but, some of that is, I know he's hit into, at least a couple force plays on the year and gotten on. But I really think this is a guy that'll turn it on later on. Robin Villeneuve, 2 for 3 today, 3 RBIs, a double, and another just big home run today, a towering home run. He had 1 walk as well, 2 runs. This guy right here, man, they're going to have a hard time keeping him out of the lineup. He's hitting 583, slugging percentage over 1,000, OPS almost 2,000 on the year, 5 walks, 6 runs, 7 hits, 6 RBIs, 2 home runs on the year, only 2 strikeouts. So this guy's hit, man. And that was one of the dudes that they talked about, that this guy's going to hit and they have to find ways to get him in the lineup. And Tony Vitello's done that as he's played a couple days in a row in left field with Tears in center. And then, depending on where they go if they go Dryling right today, it was Dalton Bargo. I thought it's pretty interesting that 2 days in a row, Hunter Inslee has not started. So, he led off 5 of 6 games to start the year. The ETSU game, he batted 9th. Saturday and Sunday, he's out of the lineup. I don't know if there's something. I was reading for post-game comments and didn't see anything addressed about that. I'm not sure if Tony will address anything about it today, but this is a guy who was consistently hitting in the 2-hole last year. He came into this year leading off with mixed results. I've said it. He's not a leadoff guy. He's not a top of the order guy. He's probably your best defensive center fielder, but it's like was texting with a buddy of mine during the game. Does he have more upside than, say, a Villeneuve, a Tiers, a Dreiling? I mean, a Dalton Bargo who started hitting the ball this weekend as well. So Tony Vitello's got some tough decisions, and it's good decisions to have because it's not a case of not enough guys. It's you've got a lot of guys who can produce, and that's what happens when you hit well, for sure. But Reese Chapman took Villeneuve's place, and he did not bat today. Dalton Bargo, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. He did have 1 strikeout. He was caught stealing. I don't know if that was a hit and run that was on or what happened, because on the next pitch, Curley got took out of the game when he got hit in the head. So I hope he's all right. Hope everything's good there. It looked like he walked off on his own power, but good for them that, they took the precautionary measures. When you get hit in the head with a fastball, it's the real deal. It is the real deal on that. But Bargo was caught stealing. It wasn't even close. But now going back to his stats now, he's up to 400 average. He started off slow. And then this weekend, he started hitting. And I was reading yesterday in the post-game comments, Tony Vitello talked about Bargo and said that you asked around, said there was a point in time here leading up to it where they thought Bargo may be hitting the best anybody on the team coming into the season. So it's a guy, he's based on what I've seen, he's going to strike out. But at the same time, I mean, he had a home run. He kind of felt bad for him today. He hit a shot off the wall today, got a couple runs in, then he got gunned at second. I don't think Bargo's out there for his speed from what I'm seeing. Both times he got through out today, it wasn't even close. I mean, he doesn't look like he runs slow by any means, but I don't think we're going to confuse him with Seth Stevenson out there either by any means. But, it's another guy coming along, 400 average for him, 667 slugging, over 1,000 OPS, on base percentage 500. So, I mean, he's getting on base here as well. Inslee did come in for 1 at bat and walked. Dean Curley, 0 for 1, only had the 1. Well, he had 2 at bats. He grounded out once, and then he was hit by a pitch, hit in the head on that. Bradkey Lowry took his place, was 0 for 1 with a run with an RBI walk. So he walked with the bases loaded. Cal Stark, 0 for 2 with a run. He struck out once. He was hit by a pitch. And then Alex Perry had 1 at bat. So he walked and got an RBI as well. So not an official at bat, but just looking at some of these batting averages. I talked about Christian Moore. I'm going to get to him hitting 464. I love it with him leading off. Again, I get a little animated with this when people say, well, I want him down there where he's hitting with guys on. You're only leading off 1 time in the game. You're literally leading off out of that leadoff spot, hitting first for the game 1 time. Why do I want Christian Moore on base? Why do I want him to top? 464 average, on base percentage 583. He can steal bases. He got a steal today on a block ball in front of the catcher. Moore stole second with that. And he walks. He's got 8 walks on the year. He leads the team in walks. His on-base percentage is only second to Villeneuve right now. And, he against left-handed pitching, he's hitting 600 on the season. Slugging, he's 750. There's not a better guy in this lineup to hit leadoff. There just isn't. You don't just put somebody at leadoff to put them at leadoff. Christian Moore brings everything to the plate. Again, it's a guy that can hit for power. He can run. He can get on base. That's what you want up there. He's perfect for it, for this team. Great leadoff guy. Love it that he's up there. The way Blake Burke's hitting right now, Blake Burke's come around. He's got his average for the year up to 310. Think of where he was last weekend. Think of the strides he's made this week. He's cut down the strikeouts. I mean, Blake Burke's still on bases. He moves pretty good for a big guy. 5 walks. He has 1 home run. He had another good hit today. Blake Burke I've been impressed with his approach. He's been more patient this week, not pushing didn't look like. You get that lineup of Moore, Burke, and Amick top three, not to mention what Tiers is doing, not to mention what Villeneuve is doing. This is a stout lineup. And, they're going to face better pitching. Let's not mistake it. When they get to the Southeastern Conference, they're going to face better pitching. They talked about may face a pretty good pitcher Tuesday night against High Point. I heard Cody Hahn talk about High Point as the Big South preseason pitcher of the year and said you may see him come in a little bit and said High Point was picked third in the conference. So that could be an interesting little matchup. One of those little sneaky midweek matchups that you have to watch out for sometimes. But good day overall, I thought, the plate. And what I liked is only 4 strikeouts today. Most games are going anywhere from 8 or more. They cut it down to 4 today. I think that is big. You're putting the ball in play. You're giving yourself a chance to get runs in. And, what do you know? They scored some runs in the first inning today. That was good. And Moore got on. Moore and Burke both walked. And then Amick hit a seed to second. Second baseman knocked it down, got the play at first, but he got the run in. So that was big. And then Bargo ended the inning, hit that one off the wall, scored 2. Of course, he got thrown out trying to go to second. Can't blame him, but, the right fielder made a good play and got it in fast. But, that was good. They come out of the gates 3-0. Couple innings there, getting runs on the board, but then like they've been doing, you get to that 4th and 5th inning, that's when they seem to hit their stride at this point. And, looking at the pitching for today as well, we saw numerous pitchers. Today you had Sechrist. He started today, went 2 innings, only gave up 1 hit, had 3 strikeouts. Good outing for him today. I didn't think he was effective last week against Baylor, but, decent outing today. And it's an Albany team all weekend. I thought hit the ball pretty decent through the first couple games. But these pitchers, they gave up 1 hit today. Pretty good outing. Nate Snead come in 2 2/3 of an inning, 3 strikeouts, no runs, faced 8 batters. And then they brought Kirby Cannell in. I was just texting today. I was like, is Kirby Cannell even pitching for this? But what a buddy of mine said was that seems he's had an injury and he's just now getting to that point where he's ready to go. So Cannell come in, got 1 ground ball out and then pulled out of the game. Andrew Banky come in. He went 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. And then Derek Schaefer finished it. He went 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And he got the guy looking on that. So you had 5 pitchers today. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Marcus Phillips because Vitello said yesterday he wanted to get Snead and Phillips some time today, along with some other dudes. So I'd say you'll probably see Phillips on Tuesday, if I had to guess, against High Point. But this pitching staff, man, I don't necessarily think they've got that real ace, so to speak. I mean, I think Russell, but I mean, we got to monitor Russell, what's going on with him right now. Beam, good outing. Like you're just going to get solid outings out of him. And then I think Sunday's going to be a combination of guys. I really do. And I could see Snead moving into that starter role on Sunday possibly. So we'll have to monitor that moving forward as, we'll see it against Bowling Green next weekend, which I suspect Bowling Green will be a much better team than Albany is. And then, moving forward, look at the schedule after that. They got Bowling Green. They got a nice one, March 5th, Kansas State. That'll be a good matchup. Kansas State's ranked right now, and then they have Southern Indiana on Wednesday. And then you get into the following 2 weekends, it's Illinois coming in. That should be a good matchup as well. Eastern Kentucky ends out of conference. Well, before we get into conference play, and then Tennessee starts off conference slate on March 15th at Alabama. So that'll be fun getting into conference play, but still got a few weeks working up to that as well. The week ahead, I'm kind of looking at here. I talked about Christian Moore. This guy, I think the way he's playing and what he's doing and his versatility, I've not seen him on any first-round draft boards yet, but I think he's working his way up to that. And I think it's a guy that, if he keeps playing the way he is, he's going to be up high first, second-round pick. I really believe that, unless it's one of those cases where it's like Jared Dickey last year. You had a high signing bonus, and, the money you wanted was a little high on that with the NIL era. But you got to factor with baseball. If a guy gets drafted, especially with it just 20 rounds now, the odds are they're gone. Unless you're coming from high school where some of them have those high asking prices and they don't make it. They don't come. They decide to go to college unless Team A decides they're going to draft them and meet their asking price on it. So, especially with this pool money, like teams from Major League Baseball has as well, you get a Jared Dickey late like Kansas City did last year, you can kind of divvy up your pool money and get that guy in the 10th round who really should have been probably a top 5 round pick. But because of that money, sometimes these guys end up being a steal for it. And like I said, if you look at the last couple of years with all the guys Tennessee's had drafted, none of them have, decided to come back to school. Not guys on the team. You can pretty much guarantee for the most part, if you get drafted, that's the end of it because it's happened the last 2 years. But I'm going to wrap it up on that note. The week ahead, I'll probably, honestly, my thing is I may just record like a quick live episode. And if anybody gets on, that's great. If not, that's great as well. And just kind of play it like I am now, like it's the normal recap video. We may go with that route possibly. I know Wednesday night after the Tennessee-Auburn game, I am planning to go live directly after that game. And then next weekend, Tennessee-Alabama basketball, and we'll plan to go live immediately after that game as well. And, we'll see how it goes with baseball. I'm not sure if they've announced the times for next. Let's see, they have actually 6:30 Friday, 6 o'clock Saturday, and then 1 p.m. Sunday. So we'll probably just make Saturday night a post-game baseball, basketball, since you got baseball at 6 and basketball at 8. Of course, baseball will probably carry into the basketball game, but that's a big one. This is a big 2 weeks coming up for Tennessee basketball. It's going to be a lot of fun leading up to March Madness. But happy Sunday, guys. Like always, make sure you share this, like it. I hope if you like the content that's coming out that you'll subscribe to the channel as well. We'll try to get those up. Subs down a little bit this month, but still it's been a good 2 months, and hopefully we can amp those things up in March with a little more. If there's any kind of coverage you want, I'm going to cover football, baseball, basketball, not in that particular order, but if there's something else you'd like, I'm open to suggestions and open to constructive criticism and to feedback in the comments as well. But this is Frank Rock. This is the House Foreign Sports Channel. You guys have a great Sunday. And as always, go Vols.